to a kind of, I don't know, how do I say that question? Average GPA?
I believe the question was the average GPA, and I would probably say that the average GPA would probably be around a 3.0, possibly a little less, but it's difficult because I don't have a very large sample size, but I heard the general consensus is around 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
I also don't really know the average, but I think for like a GPA that's considered good is above a 3.0, or like really good for grad school to be competitive, it's around a 3.5. But also if you are looking into internships and whatnot, I think a large majority of those don't care too much about GPA. So I think it shouldn't be something to stress over too much, especially like for me coming from high school into college. I mean, I got almost straight A's in high school. Like I worked really hard, and then coming to college, it was kind of a shock to get like a B, but it's very normal. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's, I think the students need to hear. Okay, and Mike, you've gone through 4 years. What's your perspective on the GPA? Yeah.
The GPA situation is actually pretty weird because Berkeley is kind of known for GPA deflation, but I just checked figures and didn't look that low. So for ECS, the average is 3.46. For CS, it's 3.53, and for DS, it's 3.24. Those are the most recent graduating classes.
Okay. So
oh, sorry, it's my thing.
okay.
It's my thing cutting out.
Yeah, perfect. Good. Very good. Okay. So, and I was skipping that question. I think we don't have a lot of time, and I know you guys have the valuable Saturday spending time. So I would like to end maybe 5 minutes after, like 6:20, 6:25 at most. And Amber, and so how about Stanford? Doesn't matter. You already have a name, GPA.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know the exact statistics either, but I'd say around probably the same benchmark and maybe a little bit higher. Stanford does have a bit of grade inflation. So there is that. So I'd say 3.0 or maybe like 3.5. Right now, my GPA is pretty high just because of the classes I've taken. And again, inflation helps a little bit. But most things will know that that's the case and take that into account. So kind of like Tina said, I don't think it's really too relevant other than just making sure you stay above the benchmark for like grad school and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I think the whole thing you guys are saying that is you coming in, everybody's 4.0 or 3.89, 3.9, getting to all those top schools. All of you are in the very competitive schools, and don't get a shock you get a B. I think that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole point. Don't get shocked. It's okay. Yeah. And Caitlin, so now you're working at Facebook. Do you think your GPA really play a big role for you to enter Facebook to get a job there?
To answer the first part of the question, what is the average GPA at UCSD like? I know the average GPA at the whole school UCSD is 3.3. I don't know a specific GPA average for CS students, but I imagine it would be lower than the whole average. So I would say, yeah, around maybe 3.0 or lower. I wouldn't be surprised. And for me personally, I don't think my GPA played a big part in my internship when I got accepted for an internship at Facebook. I have a 3.4. I graduated with a 3.4 at UCSD, and I don't think, from what I've heard from my friends, I don't think GPA plays a really, really big part in the job hunt at all. As long as you have like a 3.0 and above, honestly, employers don't really mind because you're not there to, get good grades at your work anyway. You're there to like do work. So I don't think they really care about that part as much.
Okay. Yeah, I think, in high school, high school, the GPA is like our life, right? It was mine too, right? I didn't have GPA, but in China, the exams, right? The grades. For us, it's the last minute, it's a straw, like have to make it. Okay, got it. So Caitlin, so now we delve into going back to, you are already in the industry. So, and I want to talk a little bit about internship. When did you start first interning, and first year, second year? And can you share a little bit of paths for all the enrolled students, accept students, and new students for the career paths and for the industrial job?
Yeah, sure. When I started applying freshman year, honestly, and I started going to career fairs as a freshman, which normally people tell you not to do it because they're like, no one wants to talk to freshman students, no one's going to give you an internship. But I did it anyway because I thought the experience would be valuable, just learning how to talk to recruiters and how to write up a resume, how to dress properly. I just liked the idea of getting that exposure and gaining experience there. So I started going as a freshman. Obviously, I didn't get any internship offers my freshman year, but I was pretty lucky to start getting internship offers my sophomore year through like networking really hard and going to more career fair events. I really, really recommend students to take advantage of on-campus career fairs because those will get you in the door for interviews more than you applying to like 300 companies online. Because when you talk to someone in real life, they know you're a real person and they know what you look like and what your composture and what you're probably like as a person, and you're not just like another digital transaction to them online. So students definitely take advantage of that.
Okay, I see. Okay, so the first year, interns hard, and then start sophomore year. So is that the same consensus, Juna, as the first year freshman? The first summer was hard for you as well?
For my first year, I didn't really focus on getting an internship. I mostly wanted to focus on declaring CS. So I just took the one notorious class that like everybody thinks is hard over the summer. And then, yeah, and then so I just focused on that, and then I was able to declare. And then this year I was able to start applying as a declared CS major, which I think helped a lot in me finding my summer internship this summer.
Okay, that's great. Okay, Amber?
Yeah, I think I can really just echo what everyone else has said. Personally, I didn't start applying super early, which I think you definitely should. So I'm not recommending you do that, but I focused on my freshman year, mainly just trying to get a feel around the school and figure out what specifically I wanted to study so that I could apply to more relevant industries. And then sophomore year is about when you start applying to some more serious internships. I think someone in chat talked about interning in high school. I just wanted to note that I don't really think that's necessary, and I don't think you can do like any super like, I don't want to say meaningful, but like internships usually are kind of like a full-time experience, I'd say. So I don't think you can really do anything huge in high school.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, so I think here is there are different definition of the internship, right? And what you guys are talking about, the industry internship, you work like 9 to 9. My son is interning at a small startup. It's like every day standing meetings and a lot of coding, back end, front end. And what we hear, I think we at NexStream and Hattie, we also promote internship. It's much more light loaded. You guys are doing that, an hour and a half teaching with us or 3 hours a week. So there are two definitions of the internship we're talking about. And they're a little bit different, but they all help each other, right? And whatever the experience you gain through working an hour and a half or 3 hours, and some skills will contribute back into when you go to the real world. So I think there are two, the two definitions of internship. And Mike, how about you? And you help contribute the projects and the curriculum on the data science side, working with Mr. Morrow. And thank you. And what's your view? You're going to graduate school. Do you care about internship, or you're more in the STEM educational field? Yeah, I would love to hear your view.
As for college internships, I would definitely say start no later than the summer of your sophomore year.
Okay.
Because yeah, I didn't get my first internship until the summer afterwards, so summer my junior year, and it's like honestly kind of late.
Okay.
And yeah, just like go career fairs and talk to people about what they're doing, and it'll honestly help you a lot, like through your second half college and also after college.
Okay. Wow. So the pressure is on the getting internship. That's like the internship is preparing for a job. Okay, that's kind of default, right? This is like a standard practice now in the CS and CE major. So Tina, do you want to chime on that one?
Yeah, sure. So during high school, I didn't do like an internship, like an industry internship. I did a sort of research camp at UCSD, but to be honest, I didn't find it super helpful. I don't think I learned much from it. My first year at college, I did a little bit of applying to internship, but not anything too serious. And then COVID happened, and then I didn't get any offers. But I ended up just taking a class over the summer, and I also had a part-time job where I tutored CS students. And then I also just like worked on a personal website. So that's what I did first year summer. And then this summer, I was actually planning on studying abroad, but then that of course got canceled because COVID as well. So I got really lucky and I was applying a little bit, and I am going to be interning at Amazon this summer.
Okay, well, congratulations. That's great. How about Tigan?
Yeah, so in terms of internships, I would definitely recommend starting freshman year as well. And I think something that people haven't touched on is that you have to apply very, very early if you want a very good chance. So you need to start before school even starts. Like a lot of people are already starting like around August, October, September. Around that time is like a super heavy time for recruiting. A lot of big companies will be done really quickly. So if you start very late, yeah, it'll be very difficult to find a position. So definitely start early. And in terms of freshman year, don't expect too much. I think the vast majority of people do not find an internship the freshman year, but it is definitely not unheard of. One thing that I didn't know as a freshman is that there are actually lots of internships at very good companies that only accept like freshmen and sophomore. They're targeted for that. So if you're a freshman, you have a very good chance. Well, not a very good chance because you're still competing with really, really smart people. So it's still really super competitive. But it might give you a slightly better chance. So there are opportunities at like Uber, Microsoft, Google. I know they all have internships specifically for lower graded students. And for me, I was able to get an internship as well over the summer. And I think I was very lucky because I applied to probably hundreds as well. I think a lot of people are probably in the same boat where you really have to, it's really a very time consuming process. You have to start early, and you definitely have to drop off like hundreds and hundreds of resumes off at online places, online websites. And in terms of career fair, I do think those are worth going to. I personally haven't had much success with career fairs. I've gotten some interviews, but never really passed the first phase for those. But I do know people definitely have success stories with those as well. So would definitely recommend going to those as well. And I feel like everyone here has some really great internships, but honestly, if you don't get one, I feel like it's not super uncommon either not to get one your sophomore year as well. I think I know quite a few people who just did not get lucky or did not apply early enough, and I think that's okay. I was also in the same boat as Tina, where in my first freshman year, I took a couple classes as well to knock those off. And I think that's a pretty good idea to do as well. It'll definitely help you out during the school year. You can take a lighter load. So, and you can still keep busy by preparing, working on projects, practicing your coding skills. So I don't think it's a complete waste of time if you don't find an internship as well. And I personally was very fortunate. I only got like one offer, and it was it was like a software position that I feel like not a lot of people applied to. So I personally think that I am very fortunate in finding it, but I think you can definitely keep yourself busy and work on meaningful things for sure, even if you don't get one.
I see. So it's a standard practice now for CSCE, and you guys are top college students, and you guys are telling everybody that the freshman is very, very difficult. It's going to be probably like the sophomore. So I think it's a good expectation management for all the younger students. They don't expect, it's like you get in, you're gonna go get a job right away. Okay, that's good. So now I'm gonna move a little bit faster about how to prepare for the first, like the big chunk of the questions for accepted students, but for the younger students, how to prepare, and they're high school students, how to prepare for CSCE. So Juna, I want to ask you, did you really spend a lot of time prepare for CSCE? I want to hear your story. And I know you got in, and what did you do that summer? Did you take any classes to prepare for Berkeley? Was that helpful? Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So in high school, I did take AP CS, and so I already had a little bit of CS knowledge going in. And then over the summer, since I found out that the very first introductory course that I was going to be taking was in Python, and I didn't know Python at the time, I just took a small course to learn a little bit more about Python, but I definitely don't think that it's necessary. There's a lot of people who come into Berkeley, they don't know what they want to do, they decide they want to try out CS, and they're still able to declare. And so I think that's a little bit of the case with my roommate too. She came in and she hadn't taken any summer courses for programming or anything, and she was still able to declare. It's not uncommon for people to do that, so it's definitely not necessary to start grinding it out the summer that you graduate. But if you're willing to and if you want to, it will help you in the long run, but it's definitely up to what you want to do.
Okay, I see. Caitlin, how about you? What do you think? Did you do a lot of stuff with CS when you were in Taiwan in high school?
I didn't do a lot of CS stuff in high school, to be really honest. I probably did mess around with some HTML and try to build a website, but I didn't really know much about the foundational concepts in computer science in my first year of college. And I think that was and I also didn't take any APs. So I think that was a big reason that my first two quarters at UCSD were, a bit harder for me, I would say. But I think most professors know that, there are going to be a lot of different kids from a lot of different backgrounds in lower division classes, and most professors are prepared for that, and therefore they do try to go slower and more in depth, especially in lower division classes, is what I've noticed. And they really try to hold your hand in the beginning to adjust and accommodate for people of all different backgrounds and levels of understanding, which I have been really appreciative of. So yeah, no pressure to do anything. If you don't do anything, I think you'll be fine, because I didn't do anything and I turned out fine. But if you want to, I think it will give you an edge, but really no pressure.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so here $1 million or $1 trillion question is, how do I get in? Oh my gosh, you guys are all super successful. How do I get in, right? I heard from all four of you, at least we touch bases because those two schools were very well known locally. You took a lot of APs. Amber, how did you get into Stanford? And what's the extra thing? What's your GPA? Do you mind sharing with us? And just give us a perspective, you know, if we want to follow your path, what should we do?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's a little hard to say because there's not really, I know it's kind of cliche to say this, but like there's not really a golden formula. And I kind of mentioned this in chat just now, but I think it's most important to just find a few things that you're like genuinely passionate about and then be able to talk about them in your application. For me, I actually, so I was never one of those extremely hardcore CS students ever since high school. I had like some moderate programming experience, but one thing that I was really interested in is I'm really interested into the creative arts and writing and language. So I talked about how I might possibly be studying natural language processing in CS and just kind of combining the interdisciplinary fields. And obviously that's not for everyone. And there's a lot of people who are like my roommate who's studying pure CS and has just done a lot of coding and hackathons. So it just kind of depends on where your passions lie and being able to talk about that. And also for Stanford's application in particular, unless they've changed it, I think I recall like it's not a lot of huge essay questions other than like your main one. And it's just like little questions talking about like little interests that you have, like what's your favorite books or like what kind of things do you like to do in your spare time. And so I think Stanford in particular really places a lot of importance on your character and showing that you have like a real soul behind what you're doing and not necessarily the specific giant accomplishments that you've done. And as for GPA, I did have a very high GPA though. And I think it was just a straight 4.0 or something, just because it wasn't too difficult at my high school. And that's the main reason I took APs, not really for impressing the Stanford people who are reading my application, recruiters and stuff. I don't think they really care about the specific APs, but it was just helpful to maintain my GPA.
Okay. Okay, sounds like the GPA is important. Mike, what do you think for extracurriculum that it's like between the school work and extra work? How did you get into Berkeley? I mean, this year is going to be harder and harder, but we would love to hear your perspective.
Sometimes I feel like I just grinded the APs, but there are other things I did too. And I think one of the strongest points I had when I applied was my essay. So your essay, you want to talk about your passions, even if they're hobbies like not directly related to your major. You just want to talk about them and be passionate, and then also have like plenty of people go over your essay.
Okay, okay. So I think from my understanding, the CS things, you not necessarily need to have a very strong coding background. I heard from Amber, I heard from Juna, I heard from Caitlin, Tygan, Tina. Did you do a lot of coding? No, Tina, you talked a little bit about you were teaching, right? Or involved, yeah. Go ahead, both of you. I would love to hear a little bit of what stuff you did for high school to prepare for the CS in UCLA. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, I can go first. So I just took AP Computer Science my sophomore year, but other than that, I didn't have much coding experience at all. I did participate in a local hackathon, but that was just like for one day and I didn't really do much. It was just kind of for fun. But in high school, I was very competitive academically, so I took a lot of difficult classes. But then I think probably the thing that stood out for me was I was really involved in a lot of organizations. So I would really recommend just follow what you like to do, because I wasn't a very stereotypical just like CS student. I participated in speech and debate. I participated in theater, which is like not, very STEM at all. But I just explored these different interests because I found them very fulfilling for me. And so even in my college applications, I talked about theater too. And I was able to just be like more of a human and not just, I don't know, like that's just kind of who I am. So I just followed my own path basically.
Okay, that's great. Okay, Tygan?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a similar boat again. I personally didn't do a ton of coding. I believe the main extracurricular that I was involved with was FRC robotics. So I was on the robotics team for my school, and I think that was a really great experience. So I think I would agree that just the most important thing is that you're participating. It's important to participate in some activity, but if you're going to participate in an activity, you might as well make it something that you actually really enjoy, and it's something that you like. And then, that will definitely show colleges that, you have passions and you're willing to do extra work to, work on those. And I would say GPA is probably definitely really important. And personally, I think that my GPA and like test scores were probably the main reason that I was able to get into a lot of the UCs. I think they're definitely really important. So yeah, definitely don't slack off on school as well, and try to maintain a balance between doing extracurriculars and maintaining your GPA.
Okay, so sounds like, yeah, GPA is important. I'm not sure about test score because right now UC's test SAT optional, okay, or blind. And also you guys all share about doing something that you really enjoy doing, organization and activities that you're really interested in, and plus good essays. So Amber mentioned that how to answer those Stanford, a bunch of short essays, very important. And Mike mentioned about your essay to UC that got you. You think you really helped you got into UC Berkeley. Okay, that's great. Yeah, writing is important. So I see the three things, right? The first is GPA scores. The second is you have to do something, right, that you're really passionate about it. And then the third thing is that you are able to write about your experience, right? That's kind of the three things. Agree? Like, okay, that's make it a whole application. Okay, so I guess I have just two, 3 more minutes. Competition. A lot of parents and a lot of students as well, not only just the parents. I see the students in the competitive schools not really just pushed by the parents and their perception of parents are pushing it. I feel the students are pushing themselves, because I do interview for Cornell and I ask the students, I said, where did you get the pressure? And the students often tell me, and actually it's from Westview. This year I did not interview because my son is, it's applying. I try not to do. I can't do interview. But with all said, every year I interview 10 to 20 kids, and I asked them the question, where did you get the pressure? And some of them from Westview told me that they really get the pressure from their peers. Yeah, get the pressure from the peers, not necessarily the parents. So I think one thing to me, a lot of pressure is competition. All 6 of you are extremely successful. Have you done any competition that make you standing out? Or you can live a normal student life. You don't have to be a competition winner. So I want to start with Caitlin, international, Taiwan. Did you do a lot of competition there?
I don't think I did anything like super noteworthy competition-wise in high school or in college. In high school, I did participate in Model UN a lot, which is really, really different from what I ended up studying. And in college, I did participate in things like hackathons, and I did win some prizes, but they weren't like national level hackathons. And there was more like regional ones and like small hackathons. I would say making yourself standing out. I'm really just going to echo what everyone else has said so far. Really find what you're passionate about and just put all of your effort and time into it. And I think everyone will be able to see, your passion for it, and you will become a glowing candidate because of that to them, to your future employers or your future school admissions officer. They will see your passion, and I think that's what most people want to see. So I didn't really participate in any competitions. I did do a lot of engineering student council work. I put in so much work there throughout my 4 years of college, and I would say that's what really helped me stand out when I was applying to internships. My engineering student council work and tutoring, those 2 things were like a really, really big highlight in my college career. And it's not applicable to everyone because not everyone enjoys these things, but really just finding what you want to do, put a lot of effort in there, and people will recognize that.
Yeah, I came from industry. I know we are always looking for team members that are willing to help, are willing to support, are willing to collaborate. So the team spirit is really, really important. So, so Caitlin, thanks for validating that. I think your student council, your tutoring all contribute. And Facebook is huge on that. Facebook is huge. I know Facebook's culture very, very, very well. Yeah, so. Okay, that's good. And Mike, all of you, Amber answered, didn't do much other than the Science Olympiad. Mike, did you do a lot of competition during high school to get to Berkeley?
I didn't do any competitions whatsoever.
Okay.
Well, there's the PSAT, and they're like, you get to the top certain percent, you get like scholarship or some kind of award, but that was the only one that I got.
Same for both my children. They're both boys, CCA students. The only thing is national merit. They did not have no single competition. The both of them got into Berkeley and CS. Okay, so that's good. We're aligned here. And Juna, competition?
I did not do any academic sort of competition. The only thing I really did was dance competitions, which I guess could count as an extracurricular, but nothing really academic related. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know you're a very good dancer. Next time, you know, when school opens up, if you still dance for Berkeley, I would love to come to see your show. Yeah.
Okay,
right.
I'll invite you next time.
Awesome. Yeah, I will go there very often. I have two of them there. So, and the Taigen and Tina competition in high school.
Yeah, so I personally did not do any competitions at all. So I did participate in FRC robotics, which was technically in competition, but I would say that that experience was less about the competition and more about learning to work as a team and just working on something that we were all really interested in.
Okay, that's great. And Tina?
Yeah, I didn't do any like international, national competitions. The most I did was speech and debate, which was like regional. And then I did like the hackathon, but that was like local as well. So nothing big.
Yeah, I can tell the first time I interviewed you, I can tell you talk really well. You talk so well. Now I know you got some training with speech and debate. Yeah, we do have speech and debate classes. So I'm here to do a free advertising for our teacher, Miss Lexington, and welcome to sign up for speech and debate. Yeah, you talk really well, very calm. You have that voice. So great, thank you. And we're gonna end up pretty soon. I have all 6 of you, I will ask one sentence, you give advice to our accepted students and future students in high school that who are interested in CSD and data science. Go ahead, Taigen.
Okay, so yeah, just basically just find what you're passionate about, and you know you should yeah, don't do work just purely for getting into college. I know I was definitely motivated to do work based on that as well, but it's definitely more important to find what you're really interested in, and so that you know it can act as that first step towards finding what you really want to do for the rest of your life.
Okay, that's great, Taigen. And same order, Tina.
Do what makes you happy and come to UCLA.
Okay, wow, you're recruiting now for UCLA. We would love to come. We need to get in. It's very difficult. Okay, Juna.
Oh yeah, I'd probably just say don't be too pressured. Make sure to remember to have fun in college. That's what college is like, a lot of college is about. And make a lot of friends. They will be helpful in your classes.
I see. I love your smile. Thank you, Juna. Amber.
Yeah, just echoing what everyone else says. Don't get tunnel vision. You know, no one thing is the end of the road or everything that matters. And yeah, just enjoy your experience and maybe start a personal project. Find what you're passionate about.
Okay. Yeah, I love the word. Enjoy your experiences. Yeah, life is actually made of every single moment experiences. Okay, thank you. Caitlin, you finish the whole thing with an advice for our.
Yeah, I would say be open to new opportunities. Don't be scared to try new things. really just, you're so young. Don't be scared to try things at all. Don't be scared to go to a professor's office hours. Don't be scared to raise your hand and ask a question. Don't be scared to talk to the person next to you. Be open to trying every single thing you can. I miss college. I love college, and I wish there were so many things that I still want to try but never got to. So try and live it to your fullest.
That's great. Yeah, you summarized really well. College, it's the best experience in our life. Not really full adult. You don't have a lot of obligations as an adult, right? And your parents are still paying for some expenses, and and you get away from your parents. You're independent, so that's the best, right? And you're young and handsome, good looking, right? So it's all good. Okay, awesome. So well, thank you. Oh, Mike. Sorry, I forgot you. Yeah. So Mike, go ahead.
Never forget your social life, because making friends will really help you in the classes and also opportunities, but also gives you something to look forward to. Like you want to have something to look forward to at each stage in college. That way you won't get lost.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Mike. I know you're in San Diego. I'm not sure about Tina and Tigan, but if you guys in San Diego, after all, we vaccinated, I would love to take you out, and Juna too, and Crystal, take you out for a nice lunch. And thank you for your time, and we can finally get to see each other in person, even though we've been working together for a while. So anyway, Caitlin, when we go up there, and Amber, I will, pin you guys and get together. And in Bay Area, I think you guys are very close to each other. So, okay, good. Well, thank you again. I don't think we're gonna finish. Yeah, I think all the chat questions are being answered pretty much. So thank you, all of you, and thank for your parents and students joining us. And on this beautiful Saturday, we'll maybe see you next time. Thank you. Okay, thanks again, all the panel speakers. Okay, talk to you soon. Okay.